paragraph page 1121. Okay, and our last headword was turn back your type of lesson. Okay, so let's start
Yes.
with revision. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Here we go. In reference to language learning, what's an oral examination? In reference to language learning, what's an oral examination? In reference to
In
language learning,
reference to language
by
learning,
an oral
by
examination,
an oral
we
examination,
mean a speaking test.
remain a speaking test.
Very good. In the long run, does a good oral hygiene routine reduce the need for fillings? In the long run, does a good oral hygiene reduce the need for fillings? Yes. In the long run,
Yes, in the long
a
run,
good oral hygiene
a good
routine
oral hygiene routine
reduces the need for
reduces
fillings.
the need of filling,
Fillings. Very good. Why do you,
fillings.
why do you suppose people tend to become more conservative as they get older? Why do you suppose people tend to become more conservative as they get older? I suppose people
I suppose
tend to
people
become more
tend to
conservative.
become more conservative.
They get older
They get older
because some things
because
are
something
new to them.
then
One more.
something
Some things are
yes,
new to
some
them,
things are new to them
and they think
and they think
that they're too old
that they are too old
to change the way of
to
living.
change a way of living.
Very good. Okay, one more. I suppose
I
people tend to
suppose
become
people tend to
more
become
conservative
more
as they
conservative
get older
as they
because
get older
some
because
things are new to
some
them
things are new to
and
them
they think that
and they
they're
think
too old
that they are
to
too old
change their way
to change
of
their
living.
way of living.
Very good. When it comes to selecting what to wear each day, do you pay any attention to the weather forecast on the radio or TV? When it comes to selecting what to wear each day, do you pay any attention to the weather forecast on the radio or TV? Yes or no?
Yes,
When it comes
when
to
it
selecting
comes
what to
to
wear
selecting what to wear
each day, I
each
pay
day,
attention
I pay
to the
attention
weather forecast
to the weather
on the
forecast
radio or
on the
TV.
radio or TV.
Right? Is the forecast for next weekend favorable? Is the forecast for next weekend favorable? Yes or no? The
Yes,
forecast
the
for next
forecast
weekend
for next weekend
is favorable.
is favorable.
Where in a hotel, what's the difference between a continental breakfast and an English breakfast? In a hotel, what's the difference between a continental breakfast and an English breakfast? In a hotel,
In a
the difference
hotel,
between
the difference
a
between
continental
a
breakfast
continental
and
breakfast
an English
and
breakfast
an English
is that
breakfast
a
is
continental
that a
breakfast
continental
consists
breakfast
of juice,
consists of
fruit
juice,
juice,
fruit juice,
bread, sweet
bread,
pastries,
sweet,
jam,
pa- uh,
sweet pastries,
sweet
jam,
pastries, jam,
marmalade, and so on.
marmalade, and so on.
Whereas an English
Whereas
breakfast
an English
consists of
breakfast
eggs,
consists of
bacon,
eggs,
sausages,
bacon,
tomatoes, and
sausages,
so on.
tomatoes, and so on.
Very good. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, here we go. What's a catalog? What's a catalog? A catalog is a
A
book
catalog is a
containing a
book
list of things
containing a list of
that you can
things
buy,
that you can
use,
buy,
etc.,
use,
and
etc.,
often pictures.
and auto pictures.
Have you seen an alien? Have you seen an alien? Yes or no?
No,
I haven't seen an
I
alien.
haven't seen an area.
Right, what do we put under our arms to prevent, remove, or hide unpleasant smells? What do we put under our arms to prevent, remove, or hide unpleasant smells? We put a deodorant
We put a deodorant
under our arms
under our
to
arms
prevent,
to
remove,
prevent,
or hide
remove, or hide
unpleasant smells.
unpleasant smells.
But if you get injured, what would probably happen? If you get injured, what would probably happen? If you get injured,
If you get
you'd
injured,
probably have
you
bruises,
probably have
bruises,
bruises,
bruise, like bruises, like this,
bruise,
bruises.
bruises.
Wait, one more. If you get injured,
If you get
you'd
injured,
probably have
you
bruises.
probably have bruises.
Very good. Is it safe to let a toddler walk by himself? Is it safe to let a toddler walk by himself? No, it isn't safe
No, it isn't
to
safe
let a toddler
to let a
walk by himself. No, It
To
isn't safe.
is sorry.
Toddler,
Toddler.
toddler, like growing
Toddler.
child. Right, one more.
Ah,
No, it isn't
yes.
safe
No, it isn't
to
safe
let a toddler
to let a
walk
toddler
by himself.
walk by himself.
Where the toddler are like children starting to walk. Next,
Mm.
do you know anybody who has made his acting debut at a very young age? Do you know anybody who has made his acting debut at a very young age? Yes or no?
No,
I don't know
I
anybody
don't know
who has
anybody
made his
who has
acting
made
debut
his acting debut
at a very young
at a
age.
very young age.
Well, what's a pond? What's a pond? A pond is
A
an
pond
area of
is
water
an in area of
that
water
is surrounded by
that
land
is surrounded by
and
land
is smaller than a
and
lake.
is smaller than a lake.
Very good. Have you ever been so angry that it was difficult for you to control your rage? Have you ever been so angry that it was difficult for you to control your rage? Yes or no?
No,
I've never been so
I've never
angry
been so
that
angry
it was difficult
that it
for
was
me
difficult
to
for me
control my rage.
to control my rage.
Very good. Do you know anyone who has a feat of strength or skill for something? Do you know anyone who has a feat of strength or skill for something? Yes or no?
No,
I don't know anyone
I don't know
who has a
anyone
feat
who has a
of
feat
strength or
of
skill for
strength or
something.
skill or something.
Very good. Where do we usually store wines? Where do we usually store wines? We usually store
We
wines
usually store
in the
wines
cellar.
in the cellar.
Right. What is concrete? What is concrete? Concrete is a hard,
Concrete
strong
is a
material
hard, strong
that is
material
made by
that
mixing
is made
together cement,
by mixing together
sand,
cement,
small
sand,
stone, and water.
small stones, and water.
Very good. What's a parade? What's a parade? A parade
A
is a
parade
public
is a
celebration
public
of a
celebration
special day
of a
or
special
event
day
that
or event
usually
that
includes
usually
many
includes
people
many, many
men,
people.
and groups moving down the street. Homework.
Uh,
A parade
yes, a
is
parade
a public celebration
is a public
of a
celebration
special day or
of a
event
special day or
that
event
usually includes
that usually
many
include
people and
many
groups
people and
moving down
groups
the street
moving down the
by
street
marching or
by
riding in
march or
cars
riding in
or
cars
on special
or
vehicles.
on special vehicles.
Have you ever seen a wolf?
Have you,
Have you ever seen a wolf? Yes or no?
yes,
I've seen a wolf.
I've seen a wolf.
Right. Which place in your country has the highest population density? Which place in your country has the highest population density?
Tokyo
Is the place in my
is a
country
place in my country
which has the highest
which has the
population
highest
density.
population density.
Very good. What problem would arise in your home if you never put things away after using them? What problem would arise in your home if you never put things away after using them? If I never put
If I
things
never
away
put things
after
away
using them,
after
the
using
house
them,
would get
the house would
incredibly
get
messy
incredibly
and
messy
I wouldn't be
and
able
I wouldn't be
to find
able
anything.
to find anything.
Very good. If you were on a boat in a storm and somebody fell overboard, do you reckon you'd have the guts to jump in the water and try to save them? If you were on a boat in a storm and somebody fell overboard, do you reckon you'd have the guts to jump in the water and try to save them? Yes or no?
Yes,
If I were on a boat
if I were on a
in a
boat
storm
in a
and
storm
somebody fell
and
overboard,
somebody fell
I
overboard,
reckon I'd
I
have the
reckon
guts
I'd have the
to jump
guts
in the water
to jump in the water
and try to save them.
and try to save them.
Very good. When a patient undergoes surgery, what do we call the doctor that operates on them? When a patient undergoes surgery, what do we call the doctor that operates on them? When a patient
When a
undergoes
patient
surgery,
undergoes
we call
surgery,
the doctor
we call the
that
doctor
operates on them
that
a
operates
surgeon.
on them a surgeon.
Very good. When you've got an appointment at a doctor's surgery, do you just walk straight into the room where the doctor is, or are you shown in? When you've got an appointment at a doctor's surgery, do you just walk straight into the room where the doctor is, or are you shown in? When I've got
When
an
I've got
appointment
an
at the
appointment
doctor's surgery,
at the doctor's
I don't
surgery,
just walk
I
into
don't
the
just
room
walk
where
into
the
the
doctor
room
is,
where the doctor
but
is,
I'm shown in.
but I'm shown in.
Very good. When two objects rub together, does the friction creates heat? When two objects rub together, does the friction creates heat? Yes. When two
Yes,
objects
when two
rub
objects
together,
rub
the
together,
friction creates
the
heat.
friction creates heat.
Is it normal for husbands and wives to compromise at times in order to avoid friction in the relationship? Is it normal for husbands and wives to compromise at times in order to avoid friction in the relationship? Yes, it's normal
Yes,
for
it's
husbands
normal
and
for
wives
husbands and
to
wives
compromise at
to
times
compromise at
in
times
order to avoid
in order to avoid
friction in the relationship.
friction in their relationship.
Very good. Why do you suppose weekend seems to go by so much more quickly than weekdays? Why do you suppose weekend seems to go by so much more quickly than weekdays? I suppose
I
weekends
suppose
seems to go
weekends
by
seem to go
so
by
much more quickly
so much more quickly
than weekdays
than
because
weekdays because weekdays are boring.
that's correct. Working days. Okay, next. If a
Yes.
stretch of road you were driving along suddenly came to an end, what would you have to do? If a stretch of road you were driving along suddenly came to an end, what would you have to do? If a stretch of road
If a
I
stretch
was
of road
driving
I
along
was driving along
suddenly came to an end,
suddenly came to an
I'd
end,
have to turn back.
I'd have to turn back.
Very good. Okay, and that's the end of our revision. Let's have new work. Okay, repeat. Bulb,
Bulb,
flicker.
flicker.
Very good. Okay, listen. Bulb is a noun. It is the glass part of an electric light that the light shines from. It's a light like a light bulb. For example, there is a light bulb. Okay, here we go. There is a light bulb hanging from the ceiling. Flicker is a verb. It means to shine unsteadily, on and off. A light is sometimes bright and sometimes weak. For example, if a light bulb in my house started flickering, I think it's broken, and I try to fix it by turning it round tightly or change it with another light bulb, a new one. Let's practice. If a light bulb in your home started flickering, what would you think and do? If a light bulb in your home started flickering, what would you think and do? If a light bulb in
If a
my
light
home
bulb in my home
started flickering,
started flickering,
I think
I think the bulb is broken,
then
and
I
I'd replace it new bulbs,
with a new bulb,
new bulb.
and I'd replace it with a new bulb. Very good. Okay, next, repeat appetite.
Appetite,
Very good. Okay, listen. Appetite is a noun. It is a physical desire or need for food. Okay, for example, my brother has got the biggest appetite in my family. He loves eating and loves all kinds of food. Oh, let's practice. Who's got the biggest appetite in your family? Who's got the biggest appetite in your family?
my son
Has got the
is
biggest
has
appetite
got the biggest
in
appetite
my family.
in my family.
Very good. Next, repeat sound.
Oh, sorry,
One more. Sound.
a sound
Investment.
investment.
Very good. Okay, listen. Investment is the act of using money, such as in business, to earn more. For example, his investment to some different businesses made him one of the richest men in the country. Sound as an adjective means showing based on good judgment. For example, when we say a sound advice or a sound financial investment, we mean a piece of advice or financial investment that's good quality and which we can depend on. Let's practice. What do we mean by sound advice or a sound financial investment? What do we mean by sound advice or a sound financial investment? By sound advice
By sound
or a sound
advice or
financial
sound
investment,
financial
we mean
investment,
a piece of
we mean a
advice
piece of
or a
advice
financial
or
investment
a financial
that's
investment
good quality
that's good
and which
quality
we can
in
depend on.
which we can depend on,
Very good. Next would be compensate,
compensate,
make up for.
make up for.
Very good. Okay, listen. Compensate is a verb. It means giving something, usually money or food, for loss, problems, delay, injury, etc. to make someone feel better. For example, airlines compensate passengers when journeys are severely delayed by giving them free meals, free stay at a hotel, etc. Make up for is a verb. It means to make a bad situation better or replace something that has been lost. For example, if I forgot my best friend's birthday, I'd make up for it by arranging a surprise party together with other friends. Let's practice. Do airlines compensate passengers when journeys are severely delayed? Do airlines compensate passengers when journeys are severely delayed? Yes or no?
Yes.
Airlines compensate
Airlines
passengers
compensate
when
figures
journeys
when
are
journeys
severely delayed.
are severely delayed.
Greg, if you forgot your best friend's birthday, how would you make up for it? If you forgot your best friend's birthday, how would you make up for it? If I forgot
If I
my best
forgot
friend's
my
birthday,
best friend's birthday,
I'd make up for it
I'd
by
make up for it by treating him to the gorgeous dinner.
very good. Okay, next repeat. Chop.
Chop.
We're gonna listen. Chop is the verb. It means to cut something into pieces with an axe, knife, or other sharp instruments. For example, I'm pretending to chop wood with an axe. Let's practice. What am I pretending to do? What am I pretending to do? You're pretending to
You're
chop
pretending
wood
to chop
with
wood
an axe.
with an axe.
Very good. Next, repeat. Stick out.
Stick out.
Grab.
Grab.
Skip.
Skip.
We're gonna listen. Skip is a verb. It means to choose not to do something that you usually do due to some reason. For example, I was in a hurry this morning because I have a meeting to attend. So I skipped my breakfast and had a quick sandwich in the car. Stick out is a phrasal verb. If something sticks out, you notice it because part of it comes out further than the rest of the surface. For example, his wallet is sticking out of his pocket. Another meaning of stick out is to continue doing something that is difficult, painful, or boring. For example, when I'm in a hurry and have to skip breakfast, I'm not able to stick it out till lunchtime fairly easily. It's often a struggle for me. Grab means to quickly take and hold something or someone with your hands or arms. For example, a man grabbed the lady's bag with lots of money in the street. Let's practice. Why is it better not to walk around in public with your wallet sticking out of your pocket? Why is it better not to walk around in public with your wallet sticking out of your pocket? It's better not to
It's
walk
better
around
not
in
to walk
public
around
with
in
your
public
wallet sticking
with
out
your wallet
of your pocket
sticking out of your
because
pocket
someone might
because
try to
someone
grab it,
might try
to grab
grab
it,
it
to grab it.
to grab it.
Wait, one more. It's better not
It's
to walk
better
around in
not to
public
walk around in public
with your wallet
with
sticking
your
out of
wallet
your pocket
sticking out of your pocket
because someone might
because
try to
someone
grab it.
might try to grab it.
Wait, when you're in a hurry and have to skip breakfast, are you able to stick it out till lunchtime fairly easily? When you're in a hurry and have to skip breakfast, are you able to stick it out till lunchtime fairly easily? Yes or no?
Yes,
When I'm in a hurry
when I'm in a
and
hurry
have to skip
and
breakfast,
have to skip
I'm
breakfast,
able to stick it
I'm
out
able to stick it
till
out
lunchtime fairly
till
easily.
lunchtime very easily.
Very good. Next, repeat. Cramp.
Cramp,
Isolated.
isolated,
Rural.
rural,
Habitation.
habitation.
Very good. Okay, listen. Cramp is a noun. It is a painful muscle movement felt usually after doing severe physical activities. People usually suffer from cramps in their legs, foot, etc. For example, he did a 2 hour long exercise and felt cramps all over his body the next day. Isolated is an adjective. It means away from others or kept apart from others. For example, there are some isolated parts of the world where people have never been. Rural is an adjective. It means a place away from the city, such as in the countryside. For example, life in a rural place is calm and quiet. Habitation is a noun. It is the act of living in a certain place. For example, I prefer to live in an isolated rural environment far from any other sign of habitation than in a cramped inner city area surrounded by busy crowds? Let's practice. In which part of the body do people usually suffer from cramp? In which parts of the body do people usually suffer from cramp? People usually
People
suffer from
usually
cramp
suffer from
in
cramp
their leg, foot,
in the leg.
foot, etc.
Sorry.
Okay, one more. People
Yes. People
usually suffer from cramp
usually suffer from cramp
in their leg,
in
foot,
their leg,
etc.
foot, etc.
Very good. Where would you prefer to live? In a cramped inner city area surrounded by busy crowds or in an isolated rural environment far from any other signs of habitation? Where would you prefer to live? In a cramped inner city area surrounded by busy crowds or in an isolated rural environment far from any other signs of habitation? I'd prefer to live
I
in
prefer to live in
cramped or isolated.
uh, isolate.
One more. I'd prefer to live
I prefer to
in
live
an isolated
in an
rural
isolated
environment
rural
environment
environment,
far from any other
far from
signs of
any other
habitation
signs of
than
habitation
in a cramped
than
inner
in a
city
cramped
area
inner city area
surrounded by busy crowds.
surrounded by busy crowds.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to reading.
Yes,
Very good. Okay, so reading is at stage 10, paragraph page 899. Last head word was hook. Okay, start with head word resign.
resign. Why might a person decide to resign from their job? A person might decide to resign from their job because they've found a better job, they don't like their job, etc. Tremble, shiver.
Shiver.
What's my shiver? What's my hand doing? Your hands trembling. Which verb do we normally use to describe the action of trembling because it's very cold? We normally use the verb shiver to describe the action of trembling because it's very cold. Ditch, excess. Why do they often put a ditch around the field? They often put the ditch around the field to allow the excess water to flow away from the field. Pie,
Pastry.
pastry. What do we use to make a pie? We use pastry and some meat and vegetables or fruits to make a pie. Strict. Are children less likely to disobey a teacher if the teacher is strict? Yes, children are less likely to
Disobey.
disobey a teacher if a teacher is strict. What's another meaning of the word strict? Another meaning of the word strict is exact. Uh, Give me an example, please. What he said was not strictly true. Revenge, repay, wrong, satisfying. What do we mean by the expression revenge is sweet? By the expression revenge is sweet, we mean that when we have been wronged by somebody, it is satisfying to repay the wrong by getting our revenge on them. Dive, advisable. Is it advisable to drive into shallow water? No, it isn't advisable to dive into shallow water. Why not? Because you might hit your head on the bottom. Do divers sometimes find lost treasure in old shipwrecks? Yes, divers sometimes find lost treasure in old shipwrecks. Promote. Oh, sorry, no
Okay,
time.
so let's stop there for today. But very good reading, very good dictation.